Thank you, Kelly. I imagine the hearts of the two starting 11s as the players slowly emerge into this cavernous, futuristic bowl in St. Petersburg, right on the tip of the Gulf of Finland. Will be beating just that little bit faster in their chest. The Morocco team in the dark red tracksuit tops, green shorts and red socks on the left-hand side. Morocco back at the World Cup for the first time in 20 years. None of these players have ever played at a World Cup. Iran were in Brazil 4 years ago under Carlos Queiroz. This is their 5th World Cup, but they've never made it through the group stages. They have only ever won one game at a World Cup finals. That was against the USA, also at France 98. Massive opportunity here for both of these countries to try and get the win, try and steal a march, try and cause an upset in this group and get in and amongst Spain and Portugal. I can tell you the sound system here in the St. Petersburg Stadium is so loud that the desk and the floor was actually reverberating there, shaking as the anthems were completed. The giant flags of each country being carried by lots of volunteers in the red hooded tops, and the dark blue trousers are slowly and neatly being marched away and folded up off the pitch. Also the giant emblem on the flag of the World Cup itself, the trophy they're all playing for this summer. This is BBC Radio 5 live at the World Cup. Chris Sutton, you've been in this stadium before. You watched Celtic play here in the Europa League in February. I think it was minus 20 degrees then. Actually, funnily enough, we've got all the metalwork and machinery above us of the retractable roof. We don't have that today. It's wide open, bright sunshine. It cost a lot of money, this stadium, but it is absolutely spectacular.
It's like commentating from a spaceship, isn't it? I mean, it's an incredible, the cost of the stadium to build. And it's fitting, isn't it? The city is fitting of a big World Cup game, and we have got one this evening.
7 World Cup games will be played in this very impressive stadium. In fact, Russia's next game, which is a big one after their 5-0 win against Saudi Arabia early next week, will be against Egypt here. Brazil are coming here. Argentina are coming here. Germany could come here in the last 16. It will also host a semi-final. It is not entirely full yet. Fans still drifting in, but lots of representation from the Moroccans and also the Iranians. In fact, as I look right across the stadium, and we're way up in the air here, I mean, the players actually look like little figurines down on the playing surface, but I can just pick out a group of organised Iranian fans in their white, green and red shirts, and they're holding up a letter each: We Heart Iran. Just about ready to go on BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service across Africa this afternoon. The third game of Russia 2018. Russia with a big win yesterday. Uruguay beating Egypt with a late winner in Group A this afternoon. This is the start of Group B. And Chris Sutton and I are having a slight disagreement actually in terms of team lineups with what we've been provided by FIFA. I know lots of you listening at home this afternoon won't know these teams, these countries, all these players all that well, so we will do our best to tell you a little bit about them as we go. This is how we've got them. Morocco, Munir in goal. We think that Nordin Amrabat, who belongs to Watford, was playing in Spain last season, might feature at right back. Nabil Dirar is out injured. The 19-year-old Real Madrid fullback Ashraf we've got at left back, very promising young player. Mehdi Benatia, the skipper, everyone will know him, plays centre back for Juventus, previously of Bayern Munich and Roma, alongside Wolverhampton Wanderers Romain Saiss in central defence. Mbarak Boussoufa and Karim El Ahmadi, who had a couple of seasons in the Premier League with Aston Villa in front of them. The star man plays for Ajax, the Dutch League's Player of the Year last season, Hakim Ziyech. You're going to hear plenty of him. Wears number 7, a really creative trickster. Yunus Belhanda, who plays for Galatasaray. Young 20-year-old Amin Harit, who's had an excellent first season for Schalke in the Bundesliga. And our friend the carpenter, Ayoub El Kabi, playing up front for Morocco. Our referee is Turkish, backed up by the assistants on each side, and of course a whole host of video assistant referees sitting in a location in Moscow somewhere, Chris Sutton, all dressed in full kit. That's the bit that's really amused me about the video assistant referees. They are dressed, but that's what we understand as referees.
They must feel slightly foolish dressing up to go and sit in there, don't you agree?
I do. It's tickled me, I like it, but it gets them in the mood, it gets them in the mind. and they could well be involved this afternoon. We're waiting for kick-off. Iran, this is how we've got their lineup. Alireza Bayramvan, the goalkeeper. Back four of Ramin Rezaian, Ruzbey Cheshmi, Morteza Pouraliganji, and Ehsan Haj Safi as the back four. Their star man we're looking forward to watching, Alireza Jahanbakhsh, who was actually the top scorer in the Eredivisie last season with 21 goals, scored 2 hat-tricks in his last 3 games. Masoud Shajai in central midfield captains the side. First Iranian player here, what a proud man he must be to appear at 3 World Cups for his country. Omid Ebrahimi also in there. Vahid Amiri plays on the left-hand side. Karim Ansarifat is a striker who scored 17 goals for Olympiacos in the Greek Super League last season. And Sardar Azmoun, the Iranian Messi. Not self-styled, that's the name some give him. A lot of people actually liken him more to Ibrahimovic in terms of style of play and build. But he's the man who scored 11 goals in 14 games in qualifying. We are underway in St. Petersburg, just under a minute played. Morocco in the dark red shirts, green shorts, red socks, attacking the goal. Away to our right-hand side. El Kaabi wins an early header in the Iranian penalty area. The ball drops and it's sliced wide on the right foot by Belhanda. That's an early chance for Morocco.
Yeah, just a long ball into the box. And it wasn't a convincing clearance by the Iranian defence, and it dropped, and the Belhanda on his right foot, it dipped, it dropped, and he sliced it past the far post.
So Morocco 0, Iran 0. Portugal, Spain, the other 2 teams in this group, a really tough draw for Morocco and Iran considering how well they qualified. Now they kick off at 7 o'clock UK time this evening in Sochi. John Murray and Chris Waddle will bring you Portugal against Spain in full. It's also on BBC television, but if you want a bit of both, you can go via the red button, watch the BBC TV pictures and get John and Chris for full commentary. Long clearance from Iran, goes straight down the middle of the pitch all the way through to the Moroccan goalkeeper Mounir. He bowls it out underarm to Karim El Ahmedi, the former Villa player. Morocco bring the ball up to the halfway line. Saiss with a left-footed ball forward to El Kaabi, the number 9. He's tackled, and we have a first corner of the game to Morocco. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Here's Chris Sutton.
Good channel run by El Kaabi, getting in behind that around back line on the left-hand side. Ball going out. I don't think Morocco have ever scored from a set piece, Ali, in the World Cup.
I tell you what, I thought you only knew facts about the city of St. Petersburg. You've absolutely nailed that early in this game. Chris Sutton absolutely bang on. Can they do it here early in the game? Low ball, played back. Oh, and it's a complete miscue from Ziyech. Ball comes back into the far post, nodded away, and behind for another corner. Ebrahimi saving the day for Iran. They very nearly did it.
I was talking him up last night, the star man, one to watch. He had an air shot. There's a brilliantly worked corner. Played low to Ziyech, who's waiting. Got 16 yards out, a fresh air shot with his left foot.
Morocco putting pressure on Iran early on in St. Petersburg. Deep corner swung in. The goalkeeper Bayramvan decides to come out and punch. He's all in orange. Big man between the sticks for Iran. Amrabat slides one down the right-hand side. It's chased. Haj Safi goes down, wants a free kick. Doesn't get it, actually. Should pick himself up rather than complaining, because Iran still have some defending to do. Morocco have made the slightly more positive start, Chris.
Yeah, and I expected them to try and dictate the game, come out of the traps and put Iran under pressure. For Iran, I think they'll try and stay in the game, be dogged, defend deep and determined. They've set up with a back four. Iran, we wonder whether there'd be a 3 or a 4.
Amrabat, bit of space on the right-hand side for Morocco. Bright white numbers on their backs. Ball into the near post, headed just wide. Belhanda's in there again. Low, pacey cross to the near post. Belhanda threw himself at it, and Morocco are creating the early chances in St. Petersburg here on 5 Live and the BBC World Service.
It's really good feet from Amrabat down that right-hand side. Good shift. That's Ansarifat, who's back defending. He doesn't want to be in those positions, and Belhanda just getting across the near post gets too much on the header.
I think, Chris, in terms of our little sort of ding-dong with FIFA and team lineups, I think we're closer than they were, don't you? Should we pat ourselves on the back there or not?
FIFA, you're miles out.
Chris Sutton bashes FIFA. That'll be the headline. Ball cleared by Iran. right down the middle of the pitch. Azmoun gets his first touch, but his header back into midfield is picked up. And Morocco get themselves on the move again. Oh, fantastic dribble forward here. Ziyech in a little bit of space on the right-hand side. That was Harit with the dribble. A couple of step-overs from the young Real Madrid fullback Ashraf. Now a curling ball away to the far side. Amrabat is waiting, he's volleyed away.
Still down. Harit is a brilliant dribble from him, driving through Iranian midfield, and he was caught late. It was a good advantage though.
So our referee, who is Turkish, Kunyet Shakir, is just going to stop proceedings here for the moment. A little bit of a worry for Morocco here. Amin Harit, he's another one to watch actually this afternoon, Chris. 20 years old, plays his club football in the Bundesliga, where he's just won their sort of debutant of the year, Rookie of the Year award, because he's played so well for Schalke, who finished second this season.
Yeah, had a really good season for Schalke. I think he's another one who actually, he wasn't born in Morocco, but he's actually, I think did he come up through the French system? Yes. Played international football through the youth age groups.
Yeah.
And then Morocco nabbed him.
Yeah, only 6 players in the Moroccan squad were actually born in Morocco. Plenty of them born in France and Holland, 2 Moroccan parents. But all of them, of course, proud to represent their country. Now Morocco slightly frustrated that they're not able to get on with a throw on quickly. It's deep inside their own half. If you are just tuning in, we're in St. Petersburg with Chris Sutton in this incredibly futuristic stadium. A couple of days ago we went up to the top of St. Isaac's Cathedral to have the sort of panoramic view of St. Petersburg, and it's such a sort of grand city architecturally, but this stadium is very, very different, very modern, looks like a giant UFO. If you asked a kid to draw a UFO, it's exactly what they draw, this huge bowl sitting right on the tip of the Gulf of Finland as Amrabat gets away down the right-hand side, tackled by Hadj Safi, the ball bounces off the corner flag, and Morocco get a throw in deep in Iran territory.
And he's virtually playing like a right winger. Morocco getting the full-backs really high up, splitting the 2 centre-halves.
Now Morocco pressing Iran here, but they're able to clear the ball with Hadj Safi, who's their left back, beautifully brought down by Benatia, the Moroccan captain who scored in their 2-0 win against the Ivory Coast, their final qualifier, to ensure their place here at Russia 2018. He described it as the most beautiful moment of his career. Captains his country here in St. Petersburg. Morocco 0, Iran 0, and so far Morocco in control of the ball, but Iran, Chris, are nothing if not very strong defensively. 14 clean sheets in qualifying.
And that is Iran's strength.
Oh, now a ball through the middle for Basoufa to chase down to the edge of the box. El Kaabi on the half volley, just drags it wide with his left foot, holds his head in his hands. Goal kick Iran.
Yeah, it's a really good run from Basoufa, breaking in the back of the Iranian defence, and as the ball was cleared, El Kaabi anticipated it well, sliced his shot with his left foot, his stronger foot.
So goal kick Iran. Alireza Beyranvan, their goalkeeper, will take it, and he will take his time as well. Right back Rezaian just comes trotting towards him, and Beyranvan says no thanks, I think I'm going to go long, with his jet black dark hair shaved short on either side. El Ahmadi just gets a bit of body on it inside the Moroccan midfield. Ziyech, beautiful ball, poked forward with his left foot, finds El Kaabi, the centre forward. Support on the outside from Amrabat, looking for the cross. That's blocked at the near post, and it's out for a Moroccan throw.
And I tell you what a start from Morocco.
Amrabat throws it in here to Ziyech, lays it off to Amrabat. He's really enjoying himself down the right in the early stages of this game. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Little flick up from Hadj Safi, and then the volley away. Ball bounces on the halfway line. Benatia has it covered, takes the throw in quickly, and then we get our first sight of the Moroccan coach, who's a bit of a character himself as well. Hervé Renard, the 49-year-old Frenchman. One thing that was absolutely guaranteed, yellow card here, is dished out early on to Masoud Shajai for the challenge on the halfway line, so he's now going to have to be careful for the rest of the game. But the one thing that was absolutely certain was that Hervé Renard was going to be wearing a tight white fitted shirt on the sidelines. He is absolutely famous for it. Once managed Cambridge United, by the way.
Yeah, he was one of the only people to go to Cambridge and not have a good education.
Morocco 0, Iran 0. I grew up in Cambridge, Chris. Am I the other one? Left-hand side, Morocco have it. Better team so far in the early stages of this Group B game. Portugal, Spain on the way in full on 5 Live tonight with John Murray and Chris Waddle. Ball floated to the right-hand side. Amrabat will chase. More pace than Haj Safi, but Haj Safi had the nous there. Got his body in the way. Amrabat barges into him, and the free kick this time goes Iran's way.
Yeah, and do you know, a big call from Carlos Queiroz in that left-back position, playing Haj Safi, an experienced player, versatile player, but the player who played the majority of the qualification game for Milad Mohammadi is on the bench. So it's a big call, but there's a needless foul, really, going back towards his own goal, and has just given Iran a little bit of breathing space.
10 minutes in, goalless in St. Petersburg between Morocco and Iran. Uruguay 1, Egypt 0. Portugal, Spain, full commentary tonight. 4 World Cup commentaries on their way for you tomorrow. So I hope you got the snacks in at home, starting with France, Australia, as Group C gets underway in Kazan, kicking off at 11 o'clock. 5 Live Sport on air from 10:45. Now Iran have a bit of breathing space here. They've won the ball higher up the field. Their left winger Vahid Amiri was about to take the throw. Iran in the white shirts with red trim. Amiri decides to leave it for Haj Safi. Cheshmi, the big centre-back, has trotted forward into the penalty area. It's just coming up 6:15 in St. Petersburg. Renard with his tight white shirt is also gone with no socks and shoes. As the cross comes in, Munir comes and grabs it for Morocco. And here's a chance for Morocco to come on the counter immediately down the left-hand side. Amin Harit of Schalke. Little turn from him on the halfway line. Boussoufa's in a bit of space on the left-hand side in his white boots. Lots of the Moroccans wearing white boots this afternoon. Doesn't quite get that pass right. Ashraf comes steaming in to try and win the ball back. Doesn't do so. And Rezaian, Iran's right back, is able to take his time and clear up to the halfway line. 0-0.
And that all stemmed from good, positive goalkeeping. A bit of pressure. Doubts about Munir in the Morocco goal, but he came out, was dominant and set up that counter-attack. And they look sharp, Morocco do.
They really do. They're passing the ball around quite beautifully. So I just wonder whether Portugal and Spain do have an eye on this and might just be thinking, well, Morocco could be causing us a little bit of trouble. Very early stages, 12 minutes played. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Constant sort of drone of football horns you can probably hear in the background here. Ziyech swings a left-footed ball, inch perfect, onto the chest of Ashraf. Plays it back to Harit. Harit's cross is too deep, and it's caught quite cleanly by Bayram Van, and Iran again are going to hold on to the ball. Now Iran, Chris, won't mind Morocco coming onto them because their style is the counter-attack. Soak up pressure, hit on the break.
Yeah, and they will be looking to their big-name players. Azmoun up top, but he hasn't had a kick. Haven't really had any sustained possession at the moment. Morocco with the high press, stealing the ball back.
Doing it again, Morocco again, pressing forward. El Ahmadi this time on the right-hand side. Deep cross over the goalkeeper. Harit was lining up the volley. It's just nodded away from him by Rezaian, and the ball is out for a throw into Morocco on the left-hand side. They do look dangerous, Morocco.
Yeah, they do. Good defending.
Got the ball again on the halfway line, so Morocco come back to build the pressure again. Next game for them is Portugal in the Luzhniki Stadium next Wednesday. Well, Iran will take on Spain, but as Chris Sutton and I said right at the top of the commentary here, both of these teams must be thinking, got to win this first game to give ourselves a real chance. Iran on the break this time. They've won the ball back high up the pitch. Azmoun lays it off. Can't keep it though. Kanamiri. And this time El Kaabi on the turn is unable to control the ball, and Iran have it again on the right-hand side, inside their own half. Poor Ali Ganji, the centre-back, long clearance downfield, wasted possession, poor header away by Saiss. Azmoun gets onto it, he gives it away, just a little bit scruffy.
Just look a yard sharper, they're winning the ball back. Morocco, yard quicker, all over the pitch. I don't think Iran, Carlos Queiroz will be too worried at the moment. He'll be thinking, let's just stay in the game, get a foothold. But Morocco, very impressive in this opening 15-odd minutes.
Ziyech, playmaker, through the middle, looking for that ball towards the number 9, El Kaabi. Rezaian is brought down here by Amin Harit. The pair of them exchange words, so the referee decides to come over and just have a word with the pair of them and try and calm things down.
He's a fiery character, Zayn.
Free kick Iran then, inside their half. Steadily the pitch is about to be entirely covered in shade. Just little sort of dotted, blotchy spots of sunshine down the right-hand side as Iran attack the goal away to our left. They've overhit the free kick, knocked it straight out of play, and when they've had the ball, they have been a bit loose with it.
Well, they've been pressed extremely well by Morocco, but they just haven't had the confidence to play.
Morocco have it again inside their own half. Chris Sutton with us on 5 Live in the World Service across Africa. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Group B. Here's Amrabat with a shaven head, little give and go to Ziyech. He loves the diagonal. He's swung another one long towards the edge of the penalty area. Harit is unable to get on the bouncing ball. Chance for Iran to come clear. Shajai, the captain, who's on the yellow card, has given the ball away again. And Morocco in the red shirt just buzzing around here. Belhanda this time on the ball, beats one man, gives it to his right-hand side. Amrabat takes it, beats another, plays back to Benatia. Team really high on confidence at the moment, unbeaten in their last 18 games, Morocco, 14 wins, 4 draws, coming into this tournament, beat Slovakia 2-1, beat Estonia 3-1, don't necessarily, Chris, have the recognised centre-forward, sort of the star striker. No. They've gone with El Kaabi. But I was asking you over dinner last night, if you got the playmakers behind, do you necessarily need one, or do you need a guy who can just hold it and give it?
We don't just talk about football at dinner, mind, do we? But no, I take your point, but they've actually started well in terms of getting runners in behind that Iranian back four. I think it was a big call to pick as centre forward, and he's gone for a player nobody will know much about. An exciting pick. He's raw, he's talented, he's got a yard of pace, got a good left foot on him. But the Iranians, in this modern day where you can watch videos and of players, they wouldn't have seen much of El Kaabi.
The Moroccan fans to our left, hugely encouraged by what they've seen from their team so far. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Thousands of them in the lovely sort of dark blood red shirts on their feet, waving the flags and the scarves. Tons of them in our hotel as well, actually. Belhanda, was he caught there in midfield? Yes, he was, by Vahid Amiri. So he's down. Morocco get the free kick. You did try and have a chat, didn't you, Chris, with one Moroccan fan in the lift, but sort of language barrier was a little bit of an issue.
That was my language barrier, which was an issue, just for everybody. I tell you what, Amiri there, lucky not to see a yellow card there. When you go to ground, as he did do there, it's fortunate.
Morocco 0, Iran 0. Now, too far out for a shot here. Carlos Queiroz has spotted something Iran boss in his smart dark suit. He's got his hand in the air and he just wants them to watch far left-hand side of the field. The free kick's pretty much in the middle of the pitch, and it's Boussoufa, the sort of tempo setter from Morocco, floats it into the air, knocks it down. Ziyech with a little volley into the 6-yard box. Miscue clearance, shot from Belhanda's block. Benatia shoots, saved on the line, and Iran hack it away and behind for a corner. 2 or 3 chances there for Morocco to score. They couldn't take them.
Morocco should be in front, but brilliant goalkeeping from Barry Ranvan. Just anticipates the strike. Fingers it from Benatia as the ball drops, and he just gambles, gets down to his right-hand side. Big save.
Morocco sensing an opportunity. Moussad Shajai, the Iranian captain, has been called over by the referee. He's already on a yellow card. I think there he's actually representing his team. They felt there was a handball in the build-up to what might have been a goal for Morocco there. They complained vociferously. Referee didn't like it. He's had a word with the captain. Corner for Morocco. Iran under pressure. Let's see what Morocco can do with the set piece. Whipped in from the left-hand side. Haj Safi brave, wins the header. Balloons off his head and out for a throw-in to Morocco. Miscontrol this time from Harit, and the ball is out for a throw for Iran. Morocco 0, Iran 0. And you're quite right, Chris, we don't just talk football over dinner. We got into sort of 80s television over lunch this afternoon. You started it because we all got into the black minibus on the way to the game. And you went 80, and then suddenly we were just sort of reeling off our childhood TV watching, weren't we?
Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard, and
I didn't know you liked Bagpuss.
Loved a bit of back push, the saggy old cloth cat. Here come Iran on the break with pace. Oh, left-hand side, chance for them. Ball into the edge of the 6-yard box. He's just hacked away. And Sarifat, I thought maybe he could have shot there. He went for the cross back into the box, and Morocco lived to fight another day.
Did he go for the cross?
Scuffed the shot, you think?
Yeah, I think he did. An opportunity. They broke out. It was 3v2. Good opportunity. Not the best pass, I think, from Azmoun. Clipped her, but may have been Benashia's heel, but fell into Ansarifat's path, and he scuffed his shot.
Morocco 0, Iran 0. 20 minutes gone in the first half on BBC Radio 5 Live in the World Service across Africa this evening. Hadj Safi, left back for Iran. Long throw into the penalty area. Is headed away. Shajai can't quite control it. Here's Shajai again. 40 yards from the Moroccan goal. Closed down quickly, so Iran have to come all the way back to their goalkeeper Beiranvand. He's closed down by the Moroccan centre-forward El Karbi. Clears with his right foot down the middle of the pitch, and Sarifat wins a free kick. I mean, he had an arm in his back, but he made a lot of that, surely.
Oh, I'm going to disagree with you there. I think it's a foul from Benashia. Had his hand out. Pushes Ansarifat in the back. Seeing it on the monitor, though, I might change my mind.
Chris Sutton disagrees.
No, I'm not going to.
No, I knew you wouldn't. 21 minutes in.
But these are the opportunities you feel for Iran. A big, strong, imposing side. Got to get this delivery right.
Unbeaten in qualifying in 18 games, Iran. Lots of 0-0s, lots of 1-0s. Get a goal and defend for your lives. Can they get one here? Low free kick into the penalty areas. Headed away. Amiri decides to leave it. Iran get a throw on the left-hand side. Hadj Safi's been taking the long ones. Tell you what, we've not mentioned Jahan Baksh at all, have we, in the commentary so far?
I don't think he's had a kick.
I don't think he's... Yeah, you're right. I don't think he's touched it. Now, he was the top scorer in the Dutch top division last season. Star man for Iran, playing for AZ Alkmaar. Finished the season banging form. 2 hat-tricks in his last 3 games. But he just has not had a chance to shine yet. Hadj Safi's cross into the Moroccan penalty area. Headed away, chested down by Cheshmi, the centre-back. Ball runs away from him. Back heels it to himself. He's too slow. El Ahmadi plays it up the line for Morocco to El Karbi, the centre-forward. Looks for the give and go. Pass infield is intercepted. And then Amiri wins it for Iran on the left-hand side. Plays it infield to Ibrahimi. Hadj Safi clears, didn't really look where he was playing that. Benatia chests it down, he was under pressure, slices it out of play. Midway through the first half, Morocco 0, Iran 0. Here's Chris Sutton.
What, Ali, Ibrahimi for Iran did really well there to break that play up, because they break Morocco at so much pace, and the pressure's on when Iran are pushing them back. They get the ball, they have real pace and drive in their team.
Well, Morocco once in their history have made it through to the knockout stages of a World Cup. First African team to do so, to reach the last 16 back in 1986. Actually in a group with England then. Got 0-0 draws against Poland and England. Beat Portugal, funnily enough, who were in their group this time by 3-1. Went through to the last 16 and then beaten by a late goal once they'd got through. But just watching them this first sort of 22-23 minutes, you do feel they've been the better team in this game so far. Portugal are sometimes slow starters in tournaments, Chris. Spain obviously have the whole manager issue.
Yeah, but you can't really afford to start slowly. In a group with, you just play 3 games, you can't ease yourself into a tournament.
Referee's given a free kick to Iran on the halfway line. Watch out, Portugal and Spain possibly. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Hadj Safi left-hand side. Cross into the penalty area. Morocco with some defending to do. Benatia, the skipper, volleys the ball away on his left foot. Another throw-in to Iran. Portugal-Spain kicks off at 7 o'clock this evening. Possibly the most high-profile group fixture of the tournament tonight. In full on 5 Live with John Murray and Chris Waddle from Sochi. Also on BBC television. Throw-in from Amiri for Iran, flicked on dangerously. Azmoun on the turn, got the shot wrong. Teammate complains that he actually wanted the layoff. That was Jahan Baksh. But I guess Chris is the centre forward. He's just reacting there, isn't he? Trying to chest it down and try and hit the shot on the spin.
Yeah, I mean, he's feeding off scraps. It was interesting. I think it was Amiri taking that long throw. Hadj Safi obviously doesn't throw the ball long enough. Little flick. And then on the half turn sliced his shot, but haven't really got into any rhythm. Iran going forward. You haven't seen Jahan Baksh at all on the ball. Is their creator the one who has an eye for a pass, not the quickest?
Morocco goes short here. Iran press high. Benatia in the right back position, comes back to his goalkeeper Munir. The best clearance from him. Ball spinning away towards the halfway line, headed sideways by Ebrahimi, flicked up in the air by Harit, beaten in the air to the second ball. Ashraf, young Real Madrid fullback, got himself 8 starts in La Liga. Here he is with real pace down the left-hand side and a chance possibly to cut into the penalty area. Right-footed shot, blocked, comes back to Belhanda. He fancies the shot, low drive, that's blocked by Cheshmi. Morocco appeal rather hopefully for a handball. They've got to be careful they don't get caught on the break here. Azmoun's played a nice little 1-2, but he's challenged well in midfield by Boussoufa. And here come Morocco again with their star man Ziyech. Plays his club football for Ajax. He's committed a foul there though as he tried to beat the defender, and Iran get themselves the free kick.
Just a coming together off the ball there. Ziyech and Cheshmi. Ziyech did commit the foul. I think Morocco, they don't have to force it. They can be a little bit more patient in possession.
Just watching the replay of the shot, blocked by Cheshmi. I mean, very optimistic appeals for handball. He's been driven with real power straight at him. Almost curled himself into a ball there. Hit the side of his body. Morocco 67% of the possession so far. That doesn't surprise me, that stat actually, Chris.
No, they've been totally dominant. Iran with this one long ball on the edge of the box now.
Yeah, Jahan Baksh laying it back to Shajai, gives it back to Jahan Baksh, crossing in towards Azmoun, headed away by Benatia, comfortably winning that ball in the air. Had Safi for Iran, just inside the Morocco half. Iran all in white, playing from right to left in this first half as we look at it from up on high in the St. Petersburg Stadium.
Every time Iran get in the Moroccan half, you hear a big roar from their fans. Heaven knows what the roar will be like if they score.
Well, you said 5-5, Chris, didn't you, in the predictions pinging around on the
that was a private prediction.
It was a 5 Live WhatsApp group there amongst the team. Chris gave the game such a big sell on 5 Live's World Cup daily podcast that he's gone for 5-5 this afternoon. I think the point is, I mean, we've been saying all the way, both teams have got to be bold. Both teams don't score tons of goals, but there's real quality in both sides. Both qualified for the World Cup really well, and Morocco in particular has shown us quite a bit of creative flair so far this afternoon. Ball is back with the Iranian goalkeeper, Bayram Vand, who, like Morocco's striker, we were telling you about earlier on, the guy who was training to be a carpenter 4 years ago during the World Cup. Bayram Vand was another one who has an incredible backstory, growing up into a family of shepherds, sort of wandering the land, runs away from home because he wants to be a footballer. His dad tells him not to do it, sleeps rough on the streets in Tehran to try and follow his dream, gets odd jobs like working in a dressmaking factory, a pizza takeaway delivery man, works in a car wash, eventually gets his break, now plays for the champions in Iran, and here he is at a World Cup.
Incredible story, and he's got a mammoth throw on him, yes, by all accounts.
Yes. Yeah, that comes from being a young kid and hurling stones, doesn't it, in the fields?
I think the name of the game was Dal Paran. I may be wrong. I'm probably not.
Oh, it was a game he played as a kid, was it?
Yes,
that sort of developed the long throw. I didn't know that, right. That might be 2-0 to you so far in terms of stats against me. Morocco 0, Iran 0, 29 minutes played, first half in St. Petersburg. Iran just coming into the game a little bit more. That's a foul, though, by Jahan Baksh, who I think is getting a bit frustrated that he's not in the game.
Yeah, but he's got to do his job defensively, and they're more of a 4-5-1 out of attack. Iran, they're just sitting in, but Morocco, they started so quickly, wanted that early goal. Iran looking a bit more comfortable now.
Coming up to the half-hour mark, if you are just tuning in, BBC Radio 5 Live at the World Cup. We're also on the World Service across Africa for this one. Morocco, the Atlas Lions, against Iran. Do you know their nickname, Chris?
Team Melli.
Oh, it's 3-0 now. Team Melli. Do you know what Melli means?
I do.
Oh, God, that's going to be 4-0. Here come Morocco into the penalty area. Good skill from Harrit and the shot straight at the goalkeeper.
It's really good feet, a good burst again from Harrit. He's looked the danger for Morocco, got that yard, that burst of pace. It just looked like he was going to be clipped by Ibrahimi there, who actually pulled out of the challenge and is trying to bend it into that far corner from the left-hand side of the box. Comfortable save.
Uruguay 1, Egypt 0 in the early kick-off today. Portugal, Spain on the way on 5 Live, kicking off at 7 o'clock UK time, also on BBC television. And you do have the option, if you want both, if you want the BBC pictures and the 5 Live commentary with John Murray and Chris Waddle, you can go for the red button option and have both. Ziyech, floated ball over the top. El Kaabi was chasing. Good bit of defending there from Port Ali Ganji. Long ball from Iran up the middle of the pitch. Romain Saiss played in defensive midfield for Wolves last season. Morocco use him as a centre-back. Boussoufa, who's an absolutely key player for Morocco, just sits in front of that back four, gets the ball off and sets the tempo. And then as soon as I say that, picks it up and gives it away. It might put Morocco in trouble here. Shajai took too long. El Ahmadi's fouled him. Iran get themselves a free kick.
Yeah, and again, this is Iran's opportunity. There's a poor pass from Boussoufa, who has started the game well. Delivery has to be better on this one. Had the earlier opportunity to whip a ball and it was easily cleared.
Just so that Chris doesn't show off, by the way, Team Melli, and I know he does know it. Melli National means national in Persian. National team.
How exciting.
Shajai with the Iranian free kick into the penalty area. Might cause a bit of trouble here. Cheshmi brings it down, shoots on the spin, drags it wide. Morocco felt handball. It's one of those that the VARs would have had a look at.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure it was. I think it would have been accidental or deemed as accidental. Just can't get his touch right. Cheshmi as the ball drops. One for VAR.
Yeah, it could have been that one, couldn't it? Had the ball ended up in the back of the net. Don't forget, VAR gets involved. Goals, penalties, direct red cards, so not second yellows leading to a red, in cases of mistaken identity. And the reviews will only be made after the referee has made a decision on the pitch. It's not intervened in this World Cup so far. It's bound to heavily at some point. Overhit by Belhanda, going long down the inside right channel. Amrabat was chasing, never ever going to catch that. And the ball's gone behind for a goal kick. So we've got 13 minutes or so left in the first half. Morocco 0, Iran 0.
Yeah, Amrabat high up on that right-hand side. They've just forced it too much this last 15 or so minutes, and it's allowed Iran to just look a little bit more comfortable.
Goal kick for Iran. Bayram Vand, all in orange, clears with his right foot. Azmoun, good leap. Flicks the ball on. Plays his club football in Russia, does Azmoun. 23 goals in 32 caps for Iran. He is the man they are looking to try and grab this crucial goal and maybe get themselves a familiar 1-0 and get themselves off and running in Group B. Ziyech just gives the ball. Boussoufa drops deep, takes it off Ashraf. Ashraf wants to go alone here. Cuts inside from the left-hand side. Outnumbered, stumbles forward. He's lost the ball. Azmoun tickles it away to Ansarifar. Gets it back to Azmoun. El Ahmadi has a little clip at his heels. Yellow card for El Ahmadi. Free kick for Iran.
It's an interesting one, that, because it was a wonderful touch initially, anyway, from Azmoun. But then as the ball was played back to him, Ahmadi had a nibble, and I think Azmoun carries on running from that nibble and then just throws himself to the floor. So an interesting call. I think it was a yellow card initially, but if you're going to dive at the right time.
Chris Sutton with us on BBC Radio 5 Live. Portugal, Spain on the way. Free kick Iran, long way out, good 40 yards. You do well to have a strike from here. Jahan Baksh is interested though. Number 18 on his back. Plonks the ball down. A little bit of discussion there about who's going to do what with this free kick. Had Safi, the left back's there as well.
Well, Jahan Baksh probably wants a kick.
Yeah, exactly. Not seen the ball in the first half, their star man. And Iran have stationed one of their players sort of 3 yards in front of the ball as a sort of decoy wall, just so that the goalkeeper can't see. Why not test him, Munir? As Chris was saying, plays his football in the Spanish second division, only made one league appearance last season, has kept his place in the Moroccan goal. Jahan Bakshi is going to have a go, gets underneath it and smashes it miles over the bar. Goal kick Morocco.
It was extremely optimistic from that range. Morocco saying, well, do you know what, we're not going to put the wall up, we're going to let you shoot, we think you'll miss, and he didn't disappoint, well over the bar.
Rugby conversion, yes, straight through the middle, right over the middle of the crossbar. Brings to mind, of course, South Africa-England's second test in the Rugby Union, part of 5 Live Sport tomorrow. 4 World Cup commentaries coming your way, on air from 10:45. France-Australia is the first one. 5 Live Sports Extra will have England against Australia. In the cricket, the second one-day international. And across 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra, the US Open Golf continues as well. It is a bumper weekend of World Cup and of sport around the globe. England will get themselves into World Cup action, don't forget, on Monday night. And of course, 5 Live will be there. Volgograd, 7 o'clock kickoff UK time against Tunisia. I understand Marcus Rashford has trained. All 23 players for England have trained this afternoon. It'll be fascinated to see Gareth Southgate's team selection. Harriott has switched to the right-hand side. Thought he was bundled over, doesn't get the free kick, picks himself up, blocks the clearance, and the ball's out for an Iran throw. As you say, Chris, Amin Harriott, who we weren't necessarily sure was going to start for Morocco. Young man being given his head, had a great season for Schalke. He's looked really dangerous here, hasn't he?
He has been a live wire and just swapped sides with Ziyech. He's been a little bit disappointing, hasn't really got into the game.
Boussoufa. Now then, is that Azmoun that's gone down? He's okay though. He's gone down off the ball though, which is always a concern. Star striker for Iran. He's now sitting up. Dark hair soaked in sweat. Physio comes running on. He immediately has a word with him. And when you're a team that doesn't score that many goals, you don't want to lose the Iranian Messi. So I was wondering actually, Chris, if he's the Iranian Messi, are you the Norfolk Messi? He says, tongue-in-cheek, slightly.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Well, you know what I mean. There isn't a Norfolk Messi?
There isn't a Norfolk Messi, and we don't have anything in common.
What, you and Messi?
Yep. I'm tall, he's short.
Profile.
He was talented, I wasn't.
Wage packet, profile.
Yeah, wage packet,
great goal scorers, wand of a left foot.
Oh, don't start.
Fantastic balance. Told he's got a great sense of humour.
He's misunderstood.
Oh, yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that on the World Cup Daily Podcast. If you haven't heard it, actually, download it. That was very good. Chris Sutton was asked to describe himself in one word, and misunderstood was the word that came out. It's available every morning, the World Cup Daily Podcast, by the way. You'll get tomorrow morning's one. You'll get analysis on today's games, of course, but also a Paul Pogba interview with Mark Chapman ahead of France-Australia, which is our first commentary tomorrow. Kicks off at 11 o'clock. If you haven't got hold of it yet, you can subscribe to it on your podcast apps, the 5 Live World Cup Daily Podcast, or head to the World Cup page on the BBC Sport app. Azmoun is back on. Game has just fallen into a little lull. Morocco have looked the more creative force, definitely in the first half. If you are just tuning in, Morocco 0, Iran 0. Bayram Van, the Iranian goalkeeper, made one really good block from Benatia, who struck the ball powerfully straight at him. And I would say that Mounir, other than coming to claim a couple of crosses, has not been tested for Morocco.
And, I'll take you back to what I said at the start. Carlos Queiroz, it will be like our World Cup final. We'll have to show more attacking intent.
Ziyech's ball in, just grazes the head of El Kaabi. He'd made the run. I just wondered whether he might go for the sort of Van Persie from 4 years ago and throw himself desperately for the diving header. Couldn't get there, and it's in the arms of the Iranian keeper again, Bayram Van.
Glimpses from Ziyech there, gets his head up. El Kaabi makes the run. He's not far away at all.
Throw in Iran, which is going to be retaken. Had Safi, the left back, just inside the Moroccan half on the left hand side. 6 minutes remaining in the first half. BBC Radio 5 Live in the World Service across Africa. Hello to you all. Chris Sutton and I in St Petersburg, in the magnificent St Petersburg Stadium, watching Morocco 0, Iran 0. Draw in this game, we feel, is really no good at all to Morocco or Iran. Good run made by Azmoun into the penalty area. Sliding challenge though by Saiss. Got there just in time. Hooks it away for an Iran throw on the right.
He's not the quickest, Azmoun, playing in between the two Moroccan centre-halves, but he has good movement, clever movement. Saiss had to get that right. Left-hand side of the box, clears it for a throw-in.
Throwing Iran on the right-hand side in front of some of their supporters. It's a really steeply raked stadium, this. A vast bowl, but the stands are vertiginous. They climb very, very quickly. And the fans not all that close to the action, but I can see a couple of Iranian flags. I see a Scottish flag. A couple of them, actually. A couple of saltires side by side next to the Iranians there. Ball out to the edge of the area. Complete miscue of a shot. Jahan backs on the edge of the box, trying to force his way through. Cleared away by Boussoufa. Ball bounces just inside the Iranian half. El Kaabi puts pressure on. Here's a ball fell to Ziyech, but El Kaabi has committed a foul in causing the error from the Iranian defender, so it's a free kick Iran.
Poor Ali Ganji wanting a booking there. Felt there was a follow-through from El Kaabi.
Just getting a close-up of Hervé Renard, the coach of Morocco. Has done wonderful things with this team. First World Cup finals in 20 years. Actually does have a couple of major titles to his name. He's a coach who's won 2 Africa Cup of Nations, one with Zambia 2012, the other with the Ivory Coast in 2015. But he is a suave dude in the tight white untouched shirt, long sort of flowing floppy hair, balls high in the air here, dropping down on the edge of the Morocco box. Amrabat is back there to nod it away.
Yes. He sounds like someone off a lower low, doesn't he?
Hervé Renard. Yes, he does. René, close too, indeed. And Morocco bring the ball out of defence. 3.5 minutes left in the first half. Benatia, under no pressure whatsoever, brings it up to the halfway line, swings the ball high and wide to the left, just slightly overcooks it, and Ziyech brings it down on his chest, but he's out of play. Now, last 10 minutes, Chris, Ziyech has gone left, hasn't he? And Harit has gone right. Yeah. And Belhanda continues through the middle.
And it may be a sign of frustration that they're swapping sides, but just that pass, I just feel that they're forcing it a little bit too much. Keep the ball.
That's nice from Morocco. Ashraf, the left back, is involved. Belhanda wants a free kick. He's not going to get it. Iran have it. Saiss closes down quickly. Good run through the middle. And here's a chance for Azmoun. Star man for Iran. Through on goal, shoots. It's blocked by the legs of Munir. Makes another save. The ball loops into the air, bounces off him, and goes behind for a corner. A golden opportunity for Sardar Azmoun to give Iran the lead. He couldn't take it. Munir wins the one-on-one.
And they've sat in all game, but that was the moment. And the golden boy fluffed his lines, Azmoun. Munir stayed big, but he's got to score. Right-hand side, 12 yards out, probably tries to go across Munir. Munir blocks it with his right foot. What a big opportunity for Iran, and it's wasted.
Norfolk Messi would have scored that, I'm sure. Iranian Messi couldn't take it. Corner for Iran, low into the near post. Had Safi, left back, controls, gets it onto his right foot, goes for the curler, blocked by Benatia. Ball runs to Shajai. Oh, 2 teammates getting each other's way. Jahan Baksh was at fault there. Shajai's done really well to keep it, win it, battling his way through in the penalty area. Morocco eventually get it clear. Foul from El Kaabi. That was a little bit clumsy, actually, a bit unlucky coming back to win the ball. Free kick for Iran. What a chance for Azmoun. And Chris, for a team that do not score many goals and don't create that many chances, you have got to, haven't you? You've got to take them.
Absolutely. And the nature of the game, the pressure which they had to withstand in that opening 20 minutes. Morocco came out of the traps and were scintillating, put them under all sorts of pressure, and around it was stay in the game. They get their opportunity just before half-time, and it was gilt-edged.
Yeah, absolutely. BBC Radio 5 live at the World Cup, closing in on half-time in St. Petersburg. Third game of Russia 2018. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Now, is Haj Safi going to have a humdinger here from 40 yards out? He is taking a long run at the free kick, drives it with his left foot, a little bit lower that one. It does clear the crossbar, and it's behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, with good power, 40 yards out centrally on the strike. But
I don't think they fancy the Moroccan keeper, judging by those 2 free kicks. They were a long way out, both of them, and both times they've gone for the hammer.
Well, they might think that, but to shoot from that far out, really, I think they're better to try and take it short and work an opening.
Morocco 0, Iran 0. Last minute of the first half. I couldn't think there'll be too much added time either. The noise has suddenly picked up again towards half-time. Moroccan fans, I think, started that. Iranian fans have joined in. And we've got a real atmosphere inside this space-age stadium. If you are coming here during the World Cup, St. Petersburg, the city, definitely worth a look. And so is this remarkable stadium. Miscue from Shajai in midfield. Benatia plays the ball to Harit, who's come searching for it. He's slightly overrun it here. He goes bouncing off Iranian defenders. He's eventually fouled just inside his own half. Morocco get themselves a free kick. 2 minutes of added time we're going to have at the end of this first half. Portugal-Spain, 7 o'clock UK time kick-off this evening. In this group with Morocco and Iran, which is why Chris Sutton and I both feel this really is must-win for one of these two to give themselves a really good chance, a realistic chance of trying to nudge themselves ahead of one of the big boys in this group. Ziyech in the centre circle for Morocco, just bounces into a pass here, plays it to Saiss, across to Ashraf on the left-hand side. Morocco strolling around late in the first half. Temperatures dipped a little towards the end of this first half as afternoon becomes evening, but still very pleasant. Shirt sleeves the order of the day. Ball is played away to the left-hand side. In terms of the toughness of this group, actually, Chris, great stat I read in my Times World Cup guide was that Spain and Portugal in the last decade have won more major tournaments together, namely 4, than Morocco and Iran have won World Cup matches at finals in their histories, because Morocco have won 2 and Iran have won 1 in 25 attempts. That just sort of emphasises the size of the task of trying to get out of this group.
Yep. And Carlos Queiroz said it was the hardest group possible.
Yeah.
You can't really disagree with that. But it emphasises the need for one of these teams to get the 3 points.
Absolutely right. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Azmoun with a wonderful chance a couple of minutes ago for Iran. Bayran Van, the Iranian keeper, with a good save from Benatia. Oh, Belhand, a nice dummy. Ziyech wasn't quite ready for that. Belhand is trying to win the ball back, and the free kick goes against him in the end as he stretched to make it. Ziyech is going to kill the ball towards goal anyway. And in fact, the half-time whistle has blown in St. Petersburg. So he just sort of jogged to a finish there at half-time. Not quite heading towards the 5-5 we might possibly have imagined. We have seen... No, I'm only joking, Chris. I'm going to stop that one. We've seen some really good football first 20 minutes or so, haven't we, from Morocco? Best chance of the game, though, Chris. Azmoun for Iran had to be.
And he's got to score. That was the chance they were waiting for. They actually finished the half pretty well. I think that the longer the half went on for Iran, it was, we fancy this a little bit more. Morocco ran out of steam. But that opportunity, one-on-one, driving into the box, 12 yards out, he's got to beat the goalkeeper, the golden boy. Certainly wasn't a golden boy there, fluffed his lines.
We feel it's a must-win game at the moment. At half-time, no one is winning it. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Yeah, they're not free scoring. I mean, you look at their qualifying record under Carlos Queiroz, and it is incredibly impressive, but it really is based on defence. 14 clean sheets in 18 games. A lot of 1-0s in there as well. And, you know, you knew before the start of this game, particularly with all the talk about Azmoun, the star man who plays for the middle, who's got a great goal-scoring record for Iran. I mean, 23 goals in 32 games is better at the moment in terms of scoring rate than the great Ali Daei, who's the country's record goal scorer. But you do know when they're playing. I remember this actually from doing them 4 years ago against Argentina. They had a great game against Argentina in Belo Horizonte, and they held them and held them and held them and defended brilliantly and couldn't take a crucial chance. I think it was Gachanachad had one-headed chance, which had he put either side of the keeper, they would have won the game. That's the kind of thing they rely on. So when those chances come, you've got to take them.
It's all yours with Chris Sutton alongside you.
Here's the man that we were just talking about. Sardar Azmoun kicks the game off for Iran. They are in the white shirts with red trim, playing from left to right in this second half. Morocco 0, Iran 0. First game in Group B, third game of this World Cup. And as Mark Chapman and Terry Butcher were just saying, Portugal, Spain also in the group. Kick off at 7 o'clock UK time tonight in Sochi. Full commentary here on 5 Live. Been saying it all along. You do feel one of these teams, or both of them, have really got to go for it, because I just don't think a point is going to be enough. They're going to have a serious chance of getting themselves through to the last 16. Neither manager's made a change at half-time. Morocco starting brightly again. Amrabat, right-hand side. Oh, the cross is beyond El Kaabi. He could have pulled it back to the penalty spot as well, because Harit was waiting there, and instead he's crossed it long, and the ball's gone out for an Iran throw in their right-back position.
What an opportunity. Amrabat marauding down that right-hand side, drives into the box on the right-hand side, level with the 6-yard line. He just has to pick the right option. He takes the wrong option. Opportunity gone for Morocco.
Morocco in the vivid red shirts, white numbers on their backs, green shorts, red socks. Oh, yellow card. Now, who's that? Is that Jahan Baksh? Yeah, the Iranian star player. Well, Azmoun's the star striker. Jahan Baksh is a real talent as well. He's jumped in, and the referee immediately, Kunyet Shakir, he stepped over the ball, Jahan Baksh, and accidentally trodden on the foot of the Moroccan.
Yeah.
So he gets himself a yellow card.
Yeah, quite right. I just wonder whether half-time came at a good time for Morocco, just to regroup.
Yeah.
Just to emphasise the need to start again like they did at the start of the first half. Just be more patient in that final third.
Give you the two-team lineups again in just a second. Here's Ziyech buzzing around on the edge of the Iranian penalty area. He's pulled Shajai back. And so Iran will get the free kick. Morocco have Mounir in goal. Made one really good save from Azmoun in the one-on-one late in the first half. Nordin Amrabat, who was on loan from Watford last season in La Liga with Leganés, is playing right back this afternoon. Ashraf from Real Madrid, the 19-year-old at left back. Benatia, the skipper, alongside Romain Saiss. Here they come again, Morocco. Harit has slightly overrun that on the left-hand side. Boussoufa comes flying in, wins the tackle. He's fouled. And Morocco get the free kick.
That should be a card. You can't go to ground like that. Razayan on Boussoufa comes off his feet, takes him out. Lucky to get away with that.
Yeah, I think he is. Referees had a word and said last chance. So Boussoufa and El Ahmadi, who's on a yellow card in central midfield for Morocco. The really creative player to the next three: Ziyech of Ajax, Yunus Belhanda of Galatasaray, once won Liga with Montpellier back in 2012 along with Olivier Giroud, and Amin Harit, the 20-year-old from Schalke, who looked really dangerous in the early stages. And the dream story, worried to get a winner, Ayoub El Kaabi. We keep saying it, training as a carpenter 4 years ago on the outskirts of Casablanca, and here he is leading the line at the World Cup for Morocco. So that is their lineup. They're in possession. They had lots of possession in the first half as well. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Benatia striding into the Iran half, gives it to Amrabat, spins the defender, cross comes in beyond El Kaabi, and then it's volleyed wildly by Harit, miles wide, and behind for the goal kick to Iran.
Amrabat playing higher up than Ziyech on that right-hand side, takes the ball in well on the right-hand side of the box, uses his body, turns Hadjafi and puts a really good ball in. I think Harit now, 6 yards out in the corner of the 6-yard line, should go with his head, head it back across goal. Wrong option. Dreadful finish, goes high into the stand behind the goal.
Iran's goalkeeper is Alireza Bayranvand. He's cleared the ball with his right foot. The rest of the Iranian team in just a second for you. Two of them now on yellow cards. The skipper, Masoud Shajai, has become the first Iranian this afternoon to represent his country at 3 World Cups, having done so in 2006, 2014, now 2018. Razayan is the right back, Ehsan Haj Safi the left back, Cheshmi and Pour Ali Ganji, the two centre-backs. Pour Ali Ganji, who plays his club football in Qatar with a certain fella called Javi, who just sits in front of him for Al Sadd, so that must be nice to watch. Jahan Baksh on the right-hand side, Amiri on the left, Shajai the skipper, Ibrahimi in central midfield, and Karim Ansarifat of Olympiacos alongside Sadar Azmoun up front. The second half has kind of begun like the first half did. Morocco, not quite the same pace, but in control of the game. It's 0-0 at the moment.
And the two stars from the Dutch league really need to show a bit more courage.
They do. Harit into El Ahmadi. He's lost it in midfield. Now here's a chance for Iran. Azmoun picks up speed in his bright orange beats, runs through the centre circle, gets the ball back, has a man to his left-hand side, tries to slide it in, poor pass, and it's a chance here for Ashraf under a little bit of pressure to clip away with his right foot up towards El Kaabi, the lanky number 9, wins the header. No teammate there to help him. Jahan Baksh under pressure, is fouled by Ashraf. Free kick Iran.
It may actually suit Morocco. Iran got braver the longer the first half went. If they come on to Morocco, because Morocco have that pace to break.
Carlos Queiroz is deep in thought. The Iran national team manager, been in the position for 7 years, has qualified them for 2 successive World Cups. Jahan Baksh, way overhit cross, awful with his right foot, and the ball goes drifting behind for a goal kick. Ksenia, our Russian friend, has got headphones on for the second half, Chris Sutton. So Ksenia is our fixer here in Russia. She's helping us, taking us to restaurants, showing us around St. Petersburg. This is the first ever football match she has ever been to, the first ever radio commentary she's ever listened to, and she has the pleasure of your input on it. I'll be interested to get her feedback at the end of the game.
If there aren't any goals, she will be banned from the rest of the trip.
Yes, and we've also noticed that Ksenia is in a WhatsApp group with the rest of the 5 Live Russian fixers around the country, and we want Google Translate on it, because I want to know what she's saying about you, because you've been giving her a very, very hard time, and she's doing a brilliant job.
Oh, Google, brilliant.
7 minutes gone, second half. We're in Russia. We're on the Gulf of Finland, on Krestovsky Island, northwest tip of Russia, in this wonderful city of St. Petersburg. Russia, their team, next in town here next week against Egypt. They got off to a big win. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Throwing for Morocco on the left-hand side. And you hope for the game's sake, but you feel as well for both of these nations, and I know we're repeating ourselves, someone's got to try and inject something in here, because a 0-0's no good, Chris. It's no good.
No, and I think Iran have to be a little bit braver in terms of going forward. They have their game plan, I get that, but this is, they've talked up the opportunity, real opportunity of qualifying. If they want to qualify, they have to win the game.
Yeah.
So they've got to grab the bull by the horns, show a bit more initiative.
8 minutes gone, second half. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Egypt beaten by Uruguay. Late goal, 89th minute from Jose Jimenez for Uruguay this afternoon. That was our first World Cup commentary of the day. So Uruguay and Russia both on 3 points in Group A. Portugal, Spain, 7 o'clock this evening, in full on 5 Live. Also on BBC television, red button if you want TV pictures, and 5 Live commentary. 4 more World Cup commentaries coming your way tomorrow, starting with France, Australia, kicking off 11 o'clock UK time. Jahan Baksh, good curling ball to Ansari Fard. He lets it bounce twice. Had support on the outside there, but he comes back to the left back, Haj Safi. Amiri was breaking free down the left, but Iran have gone backwards here. They've lost momentum. They've come almost back to the halfway line. Now it's the right back, Rezaian. Gives it to Shajai, drags it across the body of El Ahmadi. He's lost it. Ziyech on the ball for Morocco, always dangerous. Gives it to Harit. Harit lays it back to Belhanda. Ashraf now down the left-hand side. Clever little back heel from Harit on the left. Comes off Rezaian, and the ball goes out for a Moroccan throw. Ziyech's pass from the throw just a little short. The ball then clips his hand. Iran get the free kick. Chance gone. Morocco 0, Iran 0.
Morocco just countering, winning the ball back, but not making the most of that opportunity.
The other thing we need to clear up from our listeners at half-time, I had one tweet saying that he was listening to us two on 5 Live this afternoon, Morocco-Iran, and his friend wanted some confusion cleared up because he thought I was Australian. I can assure you I'm not. Good run forward by Harry, but it's also a good tackle by Ebrahimi, who goes down, holding his sort of kidneys on the right-hand side, or his ribs there. He's stayed down, plays continued, the ball's deep in the Morocco half, Munir heads it forward, and I think we're also getting to the time here, play's now going to stop, Chris, where managers have to start thinking about how to change it, substitutions possibly.
Just a word on Ebrahimi, I think he wouldn't have started the star man, the Persian Pogba, suspended for this game, but he's done a good job in terms of breaking the play up in front of that Iran back four, and that was a timely challenge. But yeah, it just looks like Morocco It surprised me a little bit because they were so good in that opening 20-25 minutes, and they actually look like they've run out of ideas.
Yeah. In terms of physical preparations for this game, something worth mentioning as well is that Ramadan only finished yesterday, and obviously a big issue for players on both of these teams in terms of that period of fasting, trying to get yourself ready for a World Cup. I'm not saying that's why they're running out of energy or anything like that, but it's something that they have to cope with, but a lot of other nations don't. Iran have also had the issue at this World Cup that their boot supplier, Nike, were no longer able to supply their boots because Donald Trump had reinforced sanctions on Iran.
I mean, it's appalling.
What that is?
That is not supplying them boots. I mean, Donald Trump should stay out of a lot of things. But that's not on, is it? It's not on.
Back to the football. 11 minutes played.
I don't think it's on.
Chris Sutton with us.
It's only boots. Just let them have some boots, Nike.
5 live in the World Service across Africa. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Amrabat gets ready to take the throw from Morocco. Portugal, Spain on the way. 7 o'clock kickoff UK time. Pass slid through towards Belhanda. Nice first touch, poor second pass from him. Rezaian's clearance is blocked by Ashraf. I've enjoyed watching him actually, Chris, the young Real Madrid fullback, who's normally a right back, plays on the left here for Morocco.
And they just, I think he's obviously a very talented player, but the fact that he's a right footer on that left hand side just lack a bit of balance down this left hand flank.
Ashraf goes to ground, challenged from behind, not a free kick. The last touch came off him, the ball's gone out for a throw. I just feel if I was a Morocco fan or an Iran fan, I just want a bit more urgency here. I mean, we've only played 12 minutes in the second half, but got to win the game. Got to show a little bit more. Games coming up against Spain and Portugal in this group. This is the big opportunity.
The players must know that, though. They must know that this is the game. This is everything.
Throwing Iran on the right-hand side. There's that sort of buzz, the hum of the vuvuzelas around this St. Petersburg stadium.
The hero city needs a hero.
Does indeed. Clearance with the right foot. Long ball downfield by Port Ali Ganji. And Sarifat jumps for the header, beaten in the air. Romain Saiss of Wolves in his white boots. Socks halfway down his shins, clears with his left foot, intercepted by Ibrahimi. Nice first touch by Jahanbakhsh to Azmoun, who's wide right for Iran. His pass infield is cut out. Al Ahmadi slides in, wins the ball, and Morocco get themselves a throw. So 13 minutes have drifted by really in this second half so far. Morocco first couple of minutes looked like they were going to get at it again, showed real pace and invention early in that first half, but it's slipped away for them a little bit. So walking pace at the moment. Benatia plays the ball to his left-hand side. Saiss.
There's too many touches on the ball from Morocco. They're allowing Iran to get back into their shape, block the holes, block the gaps, and they do it very, very well.
Amrabat from Morocco inside his own half. Ziyech with a long diagonal from right to left. Ashraf with real pace goes galloping after it, gets to it, couldn't control it at full speed, and the ball bounces off his right boot and goes behind for the goal kick. Juliet, our producers, just flagged up a little statistic here which doesn't surprise me. Iran have only conceded 1 goal in the first half of their last 6 World Cup matches. Well, obviously didn't concede one today, and that was Edin Dzeko scored against them at Brazil 2014. Never have got out of the group stages of the World Cup. This was always going to be a tough group, but I'm going to say it again, they knew this first game was the one. They've got to show a bit more. Just over half an hour left here in St. Petersburg. Bayram Van, the giant Iranian goalkeeper, clears with his right foot. Time on the ball for Mubarak Boussoufa, who was a very young man, actually was part of the Chelsea Academy. Couldn't get a game there, went off to Belgium to play for Ghent and Anderlecht. Very, very impressive there. Won Belgian Player of the Year 3 times, and Reynard, the coach for Morocco, has actually moved him back from attacking midfield to station him here as the, I think what Gareth Southgate calls the pivot. He's the tempo setter. He's the man who gets the ball off the back four and tries to get the team moving. Here they come again down the right-hand side. Ziyech has overrun it. Ball is out for an Iran player. Last 10 minutes, Chris, nothing has happened really, has it?
No, they're just cancelling each other out. And Iran, to their credit, are defending as they did do in the first half deep, but Azmoun up top has had scraps, but it's that one big opportunity that'll be going through his mind, Carlos Queiroz' mind. That was the chance.
Now then, here's a chance for Morocco. El Kaabi's tackled by Cheshmi and the ball is behind for a corner. Rusbeh Cheshmi protests. I know he's a player for Iran at centre-back that the Iranian journalists and fans aren't entirely convinced about. They do always think there's a potential mistake there. He was only called up right at the end of the qualification campaign, but has a first-choice central defensive place at this World Cup alongside Port Ali Ganji. He has conceded the corner for Morocco. Morocco fans making the noise. Corner will come in from the right-hand side. The skipper Mehdi Benatia is one of those in the middle. An away swinger. Goalkeeper comes a long way. Punches. Brought down by Amrabat. Ball runs away from him, and now Jahan Baksh, pretty much on his own on the left-hand side for Iran, is on the break here. Shajai making a bit of space for him in the middle. Azmoun making a run forward as well.
He came inside. He had the overlap on. Should have released it. And the momentum from that attack has just gone.
Rezaian, the right back. Yeah, Iran back in their own half. They have the ball. Cheshmi, that's a good ball out to the left-hand side. Slightly miscontrolled by the left winger Amiri. And now Belhanda's trying to win it in midfield with Shajai sitting on the floor, ball between his legs. Sometimes that can get a little bit in fact, it has got a little bit testy and tasty, because Yunus Belhanda's got in and gone eyeball to eyeball to have a word with Shajai, and the referee has calmed things down. So we're into the last half hour of this game. Morocco 0, Iran 0. I have to say, on those 5 live predictions amongst the commentators and the summarisers and the staff that went pinging around before the game, there were quite a few Morocco 0, Iran 0s.
Well, very negative. I'm a positive person, Ali. You know that?
I do know it, Chris, and I like it. Still 0-0. Are we going to get a goal?
5-5 was slightly optimistic.
Yeah. Long ball forward towards the edge of the Iranian penalty area. Haj Safi, the left back, lets it bounce, winning his 95th cap here. He goes down in a heap. I'm not sure there was really any need for that. He was bundled into. He might have been caught on the edge of his knee, but such a frustrating second half this to watch them. Absolutely no tempo, no rhythm to the game.
But Morocco had ball players in the middle of the park. Al-Hamadi, Boussafa, Belhanda. They can play, and they're trying to hit these long diagonals which aren't on, and the Iran back line are defending those long balls easily.
Chris Sutton with us on 5 Live in the World Service across Africa. I did enjoy your description, Chris, of this stadium as the $1 billion bowl. Completed years late, miles over budget. I mean, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars over budget. The $1 billion bowl it is. Attendance, apparently official attendance, 62,548. So that's only about 6,000 down on capacity, which is good to see. I mean, that's what you want, don't you? Full stadiums for all the games at this Russian World Cup. Other couple of noticeable things about this stadium I must mention. You can't actually see it from inside the stadium, but St. Petersburg now has the tallest building in Europe, which is a giant spear, it looks like, sticking out of the ground at 462 metres tall, out on Krestovsky Island, which is well worth a look at when you're looking at the view. And there is also a giant roller coaster in an amusement park on the way to the stadium. Ksenia, our fixer, tried to persuade us to go on it, and we decided against it. 20 minutes gone, second half. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Harit on the left-hand side for Morocco. Little bit of a shuffle of the body, steps onto the right foot, advantage play. Boussafa with the curling ball, way beyond the strikers, behind for a goal kick. More frustration.
Yeah, he's looking for the run. El Kaabi, the centre forward, had his head up 24 yards out on the left-hand side of the box. Tried to bend a ball and got it all wrong. They're just lacking that confidence, that final pass in the final third, Morocco.
25 World Cup games they've played between them. Morocco have won 2 out of 13 in their World Cup history. This is their 5th. They beat Portugal in 1986. Managed to beat Scotland, funnily enough, actually in 1998, but didn't get through the group because Norway beat Brazil, rather surprisingly, in the final group game. Iran's only ever win in 12 came against the USA. Mehdi Taremi is getting ready to come on for Iran. Plays his club football in Qatar. Scored 8 goals in qualifying. It's positive. It has to be positive. Try and get someone on the pitch who can score a goal. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Ball is loose, halfway line. Ebrahimi, defensive midfielder for Iran, wins it. Morocco get it back. El Ahmadi is penalised for a foul. He slaps his thighs in frustration. Iran free kick. So Carlos Queiroz getting ready to make the change, Chris.
Yep. And surprise, I think, that Taremi didn't start this game. He'll come in off the left-hand side.
Yeah. And he's going to come on for the skipper, Shajai. 33 years old, on the yellow card, so that possibly makes a little bit of sense. Has to hand the armband over to Haj Safi, most experienced player in the team, winning his 95th cap this afternoon. But here's something else for Morocco to think about. Mehdi Taremi is coming on. Top scorer for Persepolis in the Persian Gulf Pro League 2015-2016 and the season after as well. Now plays in Qatar. Got to get a goal scoring threat on the pitch. Nothing has happened in the second half. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Portugal, Spain coming your way this evening on BBC Radio 5 Live. Kicks off at 7 o'clock UK time. And Ansari Fart's getting a lot of instructions here from Queiroz.
So it may be a change of system. You would assume so. Taremi plays off that left-hand side. It's who's going to play centrally.
Yeah. Mark Chapman will be picking up at full time here, getting ready and building up towards Portugal against Spain. The World Cup Daily podcast from 5 Live tomorrow morning will feature Mark's interview with Paul Pogba ahead of France-Australia. First commentary for you tomorrow. Iran free kick is deep and long and towards no one in particular and goes behind for a goal kick. And by the way, another thing we're pushing for you, if you own a smart speaker, Take Me to the World Cup is a feature at this tournament. BBC will take you behind the scenes of Russia 2018. You just ask your speaker, take me to the World Cup. I think you and I possibly, Chris, might be featuring on that tomorrow. So when people talk to their smart speakers, they will get us and our sort of take on this and where we're heading next and what we think of St. Petersburg. And that little ball through from Harit doesn't reach El Kaabi, and Iran have it back with their goalkeeper Bayram Band.
He did well in the pocket on the left-hand side. Harit, sharp turn, misplaced pass, another opportunity. El Kaabi had made a good run on the left-hand side of the box, but overhit.
Long clearance from Bayram Band, headed back into the Iran half. Rizaian with his right foot on the half volley, knocks it forward, great header down by Jahan Baksh, gives it to Azmoun. Morocco looking for offside, not given. Jahan Baksh into the penalty area, low cross blocked by Boussoufa at the near post, behind for an Iran corner.
He had a little bit of space. Jahan Baksh on this right-hand side, not the quickest, got his head up, essentially defended well. Precise in that near post space.
20 minutes to play. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Set piece for Iran. A chance to cause some problems. Jahan Baksh gets ready to take in his bright orange boots. Just adjusts both socks. Hands on hips. Looks for options. Right-footed, away swinger. Doesn't beat the first man at the near post. Headed straight up in the air. Flicked on by Harit down the left-hand side. Chased by Yunus Belhanda. He can't get there. Rizaian, Iran's right back, goes for a diagonal ball high. Azmoun wins a header, drops down to Boussoufa, he's given the ball away. Now here's Jahan Baksh, and you don't want to give it away to him. Outside him, Ansari Fard, early cross in, headed away by Saiss. Coming up, those the left winger Amiri. First touch, thought about the shot, gets the cross in, not a very good one. And Amrabat plays it back to his goalkeeper, Morocco's Mounir, and he clears.
That's wasted. He's 22, 23 yards out in shooting range. Has a touch. Get a shot off. Put Mounir under pressure.
Carlos Queiroz, unhappy at the moment, clapping his hands, urging with instructions. Hervé Renard, similar, frustrated. Both managers know the importance of the game.
You don't normally clap your hands when you're unhappy.
No, but it was a it was a frustrated sort of, come on, clap your hands together. You know what I mean, Chris. Come on. Asmoon, I know we're trying to find something to talk about here with 20 minutes to play. Benatia, something's got to happen in the last 20 minutes here, because they're idling it away, really. Portugal, Spain coming at 7 o'clock. Two strongest teams in the group, obviously. Portugal coming out of pot 1. Spain, I guess, rather unfortunately for these two teams, popping out of pot 2.
Yeah.
With Russia sitting in pot 1 as the hosts, who obviously wouldn't normally be in there, but that's what always happens. Ball is headed forward back into the Morocco half by Ansari Far. Roman Saiss lofts it high in the air. El Kaabi, gangly striker for Morocco, fulfilling the dream here, starting at the World Cup. Hasn't had too much of a look in. Amrabat heads it back forward. Now is that going to drop for Harit? Bounces over his head. Rizaian gives it a hoof with his right foot, dropping down again, steepling down into the Morocco half, and Saiss is able to turn, get on the ball, and we're into the last 20 minutes of Morocco-Iran, 0-0.
And this last 19-20 minutes, this is Morocco and Iran's World Cup. They have to go for it, go toe-to-toe. You cannot sit in and just wait for things to happen. Somebody needs to grab this game by the scruff of the neck.
Good point made by Juliet on my right-hand side here. 88th minute winner in the early game today in Group A. So always a chance. It's 0-0 here. Uruguay beat Egypt 1-0. Portugal, Spain on the way for you, kicking off 7 o'clock UK time in Group B. One of the biggest group games of the tournament. John Murray and Chris Waddle, our team there. Also on BBC television. But your red button if you want to. You can get the TV pictures and listen to John and Chris. Amrabat is down, having taken a knock, so we've got a break in play. Gives me a chance to tell you about tomorrow's World Cup coverage as well. I mean, what a day tomorrow, Chris. 5 Live Sport on air at 10:45. You and I, actually, I think are going to miss a couple of these games because we're on our way to Rostov next, which I think is slightly different from St. Petersburg. In fact, your knowledge of
Rostov on Don.
Rostov, there we go. So I was about to say your knowledge of St. Petersburg has been encyclopedic, like you'd almost swallowed the guidebook, but saying something like that makes me feel that you might be as good on Rostov, so we'll have to test you when we get there. We're heading there for Brazil-Switzerland on Sunday, 5 Live commentary on Sunday night, but tomorrow, France-Australia at 11, Argentina get themselves into action at 2 o'clock against Iceland, Peru-Denmark at 5 o'clock. First half of that, I believe, is going to be online commentary, because we're doing the rugby as well tomorrow. South Africa, England, Croatia, Nigeria in Argentina's group kicks off at Kaliningrad. If you are a World Cup fan, a 5 Live fan, that is just heaven, isn't it? I mean,
it's mouth-watering. It really is. France, their first game, they'll want to get off to a good start. Doubts over Argentina.
Yep.
You know, their form coming into this competition. Peru, Denmark, how can you call that? And Croatia, Nigeria. Nigeria second half against England.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
England in action on Monday. Amrabat, I think, is going to have to come off. Morocco are down to 10 men at the moment. Game's being played at walking pace. We're back underway, and I wouldn't necessarily say kind of Morocco and Iran's World Cup hopes are slipping away, because obviously they, could still beat Portugal, could still beat Spain, but this looks like the best chance. El Ahmadi coming forward for 10-man Morocco, crossing towards El Kaabi, didn't quite reach him. Ibrahimi clears on his left foot on the turn for Iran. A little bit of a risk taken by Taremi at the back there, but it's a hefty challenge on Amiri, the left winger, so Iran get themselves a free kick. And Carlos Queiroz very unhappy with something, not clapping his hands this time, holding them out wide this time, Chris. Is that more, what are you reading into that?
I think, what was that? What was that challenge? He wants a card. It was well defended initially. They've defended their box extremely well.
Yeah.
And the ball's gone in.
That's what they do, don't they? Yeah. That's what they do. But they've got to score as well. Rizaian plays the ball diagonally from his right foot. Now I think Morocco are going to make a double change. Aziz Bouadouz, who plays up front, is one of those coming on, and Nourdine Amrabat's younger brother Sofiane is going to come on too. Now he's a central midfielder. Another injury, Moroccan player down holding his head, and Morocco still waiting to make the change. Here it comes then. So first on is young Amrabat, 21 years old, 10 years younger than his brother. Plays his club football for Feyenoord, made 6 starts in the Champions League for them this season. In the group stages, they were in with Manchester City, so you might remember us talking about him earlier on in the season. He's on for Amrabat, and he's running over to the right-hand side, so that looks like a straight swap. And the other change is going to be Aziz Bouadouz, who plays his football for St. Pauli in the 2nd division in Germany. Never been above 2nd division level, having played all of his career in Germany. Made his international debut age just 29, and he is waiting to come on at the moment, and that might be for Ayoub El Kaabi, who started up front for Morocco. Standard of this game, second half, Chris, has dipped. 15 minutes to play. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Iran player's now gone down holding his side. I wonder if that's Ibrahimi from earlier, because he was holding that area of his body before. But do you know what, Chris? On my notes, the first thing I wrote this morning, who will be brave and go for the win? And this second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked the game up. We talked the game up because there is so much at stake. A tough group, yes. So you have to win your first game. And do you know what? If you're not going to win, at least show intent. And both teams haven't played with enough desperation for me. I think Morocco have been the more disappointing team. The way they started, they had a really good feeling about them, popping the ball around. And they just seem to not only have run out of steam, but run out of ideas.
Yeah. Your thoughts, of course, welcome. Here on BBC 5 Live. We're also on the World Service across Africa with this game, but 85058 on the text, at BBC 5 Live on social media. Portugal, Spain on the way, kicking off at 7 o'clock UK time. John Murray and Chris Waddle bringing that one to you from Sochi. And no football here at the moment. Stoppage in play due to the injury. Bouadouz has got on, so our friend Ayoub El Kaabi didn't quite give us the dream story. That's the one I was really looking forward to, Chris. Late winner for a fellow who 4 years ago was learning to be a carpenter.
It would have been great to see him hammer one in, wouldn't it?
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Montazeri getting ready to come on for Iran, the centre-back, who I thought actually might start in place of Rouzbeh Cheshmi, but what do I know? So, means lots of stoppage time at the end of the game. Does give us a chance for a bit of late drama and a bit of a late winner. I've got a feeling, Chris, I'll just lay a little bit of money on this one with you. Brazil-Switzerland's our next game. Just got a feeling you and I are going to see more exciting games than this one at this World Cup. Do you think?
You may be right. This isn't over yet.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's so important, this, for both these sides.
Right, Ibrahimi's coming off. Montazeri has done the warm-ups. Ibrahimi's just holding sort of top right there, the ribs. And number 19 goes up, so Majid Hosseini. And his number has gone up, even though Montazeri was warming up. So we'll clear that one up for you in just a second when we see what happens. Ibrahimi has come off. Number 19 went up. Anyway, Morocco coming forward. Boussoufa plays it back to Ziyech. Ball through the middle. Diving header away. Only as far as El Ahmadi. Morocco 0, Iran 0. 11 minutes plus added time remaining. Iran will be getting another man on the field here. Ball into their penalty area. Nice little turn from Belhanda. Down the Ziyech shot! And a good save by the keeper, Bayram Van. He's a big fella and he got down quickly to his right. Palms it behind for a corner. First bit of entertainment in the second half.
Yeah, good save from Bayram Van, getting it round the post. It was a wonderful technical strike, left foot, nice and high, good connection, a really smart save from Bayram Van.
Now Iran are still down to 10 as this corner comes in from Ziyech. The ball bounces in the penalty area, and it is Majid Hosseini who comes sprinting on. Carlos Queiroz absolutely desperate for him to get on before the corner. Iran have dealt with that, heading towards the last 10 minutes of the game. Morocco 0, Iran 0 in Group B. Ziyech across to Harit. Are Morocco suddenly going to burst into life in the last 10 minutes of this game? Ashraf, good crossing, header down and wide. Last touch came off the Moroccan, and the ball has gone behind.
Sice went to the corner.
Sice, it was Sice with the header, came off his shoulder. I think he's got that right, hasn't he?
Correct decision.
Goal kick.
Just wondered, he's been good, or he was good, Ibrahimi, in that, just plonks in front of the Iran back four, sitting in there, breaking the play up. I just wonder how that will affect Iran, how much it will disrupt them. Just watching the save there, really strong hand to shepherd that round the post.
To shepherd it round the post. The fellow who grew up from a shepherding family to become a footballer.
That's right.
Right. Not sure everyone will have got that back home, but I'm glad I've explained it. The one gag we haven't been able to get in, and do you know what? I'm going to have to spoil it now, Chris, but you said to me yesterday... No, I know, but I'm not sure we're going to get a VAR decision in the game. And I quite like your line about them sitting in the bar in Casablanca watching the VAR.
What would they say?
What would they say?
Play it again?
Indeed they would. That's what we've resorted to on 5 Live in the World Service across Africa at the moment. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Morocco going to bring a centre-back on late in the game. Manuel da Costa. West Ham fans might remember him. 2 years at the club. Played in the season under Avram Grant when they actually got themselves relegated. Plays his club football in Turkey now. Experienced defender, 32 years old. And he is going to come on for Amin Harit. So that's an interesting one. I mean, Harit, who's one of the brightest players on the pitch, a zippy left wing, is replaced by a centre-back in a game you've got to win.
Faded in the second half. I wonder whether there will be a change of system now. I'll go through at the back. Push the wing-backs.
Morocco 0, Iran 0. Portugal, Spain on the way on 5 Live. Jahan Baksh just wriggling away down the right-hand side. Stopped in his tracks. Here's Ziyech, the playmaker for Morocco in his red boots. Plays the ball down the left-hand side. Bouadouz chases hard. Big, powerful centre-forward. Bounces into the defender. Poor Ali Ganji. And the ball goes out for an Iran throw. 8 minutes to play. And now one of the Iranian players looks like gone down with cramp. That's Jahan Baksh, who's gone down with cramp. Moroccan fans are whistling. Referee stops the game.
Should he stop the game for cramp?
They normally do, don't they? Ball is out of play for a throw.
I wouldn't be happy about that if I was a Moroccan player.
No. We're going to have a lot of added time at the end of this game, Chris. He's calling for a stretcher to deal with this. Oh, and he's saying he's got to come off. Jahan Baksh gave it the old roll with the fingers to the bench, saying I've got to come off. So that's something else for Carlos Queiroz to deal with. Saman Godus is being prepared, who impressed Arsene Wenger playing for Ostersunds earlier this season in the Europa League. A midfielder who has a goal or two in his boots. 5 goals in the Europa League for Ostersunds this season under Graham Potter, who of course is going to be the next Swansea manager. Just going to drop in as well, in case anyone hasn't heard, Marcelo Bielsa, Leeds United manager next season. Lampard at Derby, Bielsa at Leeds.
I mean, it's an exciting appointment. Things are never dull at Ellen Road.
Certainly not. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Sun shines out again in St. Petersburg. Second half really has drifted. Bayram Van, the Iranian keeper, has made 2 crucial saves, one in each half. One from Benatia in the first half, and the one full stretch away to his right-hand side in the second half. I can't remember actually who hit the shot, but 2 crucial interventions for Iran to keep the clean sheet, and that's what they did in qualifying. 14 clean sheets in 18 games, 12 consecutively. They struggled to score goals. Brilliant chance in the first half for Sadar Azmoun to try and get them the win. He wasn't able to take it. 6 minutes to play. We are going to have at least 5 minutes added time, I am sure, at the end of this game. For all the stoppages, the Amrabat injury, the cramp for Azmoun. Morocco get the ball back, really haven't been able to get into that attacking rhythm. First 20 minutes, really enjoyed watching Morocco and really felt they were taking the game by the scruff of the neck. They weren't able to continue in that vein. Belhanda of Galatasaray moves one way then the other, 30 yards from the Iranian goal. Ziyech switches it from left foot to right. He wants it on the left foot though. Low ball, oh dear, to the left-hand side. Ashraf took his eye off it, rolls under his boot and goes out for an Iranian throw.
And that has summed up, that poor touch from Ashraf has summed up the second half. really has. Morocco haven't done enough, and Iran, you haven't shown enough intent. Morocco actually, I think there's still a back forward. Saiss coming out to left back.
Yeah. Ball is high in the air, dropping on the halfway line. It just bounces off Azmoun. He knew nothing about it. Very scrappy, and then it's sliced way in the air again by Ansari Fard. He's very deep now for Iran, headed straight up in the air. Amiri nods it down. Haj Safi at left back, clips it forward with his left foot. Benatia barged into. Free kick given to him. He's holding the back of his head. Morocco nil.
We should stop the game for a head knock.
Iran nil. We're going to have to. Tell you something you said to me before the game, Chris. Carlos Queiroz managed Portugal at the 2010 World Cup. Managed Iran at the last World Cup, which I know you're dealing with a slightly different level of player, and managing here. Coming to this tournament, 7 games in World Cup finals, and his teams have only scored in 2 of them. And one of those against North Korea with Portugal.
Yep. And I think it's been disappointing. I do. I think there comes a time when you have to go for it. I mean, Iran, are they realistically going to beat Spain?
Ball through the middle to Bouadouz, lays it off. Ziyech drove on the half volley. It's blocked. It spins to the right-hand side. Boussoufa plays it into the penalty area. Iran have managed to get this clear. Now they've got an opportunity on the break, attacking down the left. Azmoun waiting for the ball into the middle. Wide left-hand side, just taking their time here, Iran. Azmoun comes running towards the ball, doesn't get it from Amiri. He holds on to it, he's closed down, and they've slowed it down. And they've come back into their own half, and there's only 3 minutes of the 90 to play. And it's still Morocco nil, Iran nil, and someone has got to find a goal, because otherwise I just cannot see either of these two teams finishing above Spain or Portugal in this group. Long diagonal ball through the middle for Taremi to chase. Beaten in the air by Saiss. Ashraf, lovely dummy. Just showed him the eyes there as he went running forward to Azmoun. Foul on Al Ahmadi. Free kick Morocco inside their own half.
That's been the second half, just littered with fouls. The play being broken up. But Morocco's use of the ball in this second half just hasn't been good enough. They haven't popped the ball around quickly enough.
Yeah, I think you'd file the second half under disappointing. Nice dummy from I was going to say Cheshmi there. Obviously it's not. That's Manuel da Costa at the back for Morocco. Here's Saiss, who's now moved into that left-back position. Well, that is a poor touch there from Benatia, who's given the ball away. Hasn't crossed Morocco just yet. There is Cheshmi, the Iranian centre-back. Back to his centre-back partner, poor Ali Ganji. Clears with his left foot. 89th minute of the game. Morocco nil, Iran nil. Ziyech gets onto the ball for Morocco. Can they make it happen late? We had an 89th minute goal in the first game of the day. Is it going to happen again? Cross comes into the far post. Ashraf jumps for it. Good header away. Iran expert at keeping clean sheets. Morocco didn't concede a goal in qualifying.
That's a record though, isn't it?
What's a record?
The amount of rolls after the challenge. I counted 7.
Yeah, Rezaian, the Iranian right back, has made a meal of that, hasn't he?
I mean, I think it was a foul, but come on.
Yeah.
They've actually defended crosses very, very well. Iran, another ball into the box. They've been comfortable. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh.
We should have learned our Russian numbers, by the way. We haven't done that. We could have counted that in Russian. Another stoppage in play. Morocco nil, Iran nil. England get into World Cup action Monday night. We'll be there, Volgograd, very quickly. Chris Sutton, going to ask you a couple of questions. Lots of people having a guess at the team. Cahill or Maguire at the back for you?
I think Cahill of Maguire. I think he had a good end to the season, Gary Cahill, and I think he should start for England.
Young or Rose at left back?
I think Gareth will pick Young. I think that's a very close call.
Da Costa wins it for Morocco here. Morocco nil, Iran nil. England, Tunisia Monday night. Portugal, Spain on the way. Also on BBC television, that one tonight. Big game in Group B. I think those two teams will be absolutely delighted, actually, that this one looks like it's heading for a draw, but added time still to come. Morocco nil, Iran nil. Da Costa plays the ball across the halfway line. Really got out of second gear, either team, in this second half. How many minutes of added time have we got? Looked like double figures for a second there. I think the fourth official was just having a bit of fun with us. All 6. He's got a Da Costa. Oh, my goodness me. Manuel da Costa goes for a right-footed strike from 50 yards out and slices it so badly it very nearly went out for a throw-in.
And he's
Chris
gone
Sutton
down.
discuss.
He's pulled something in his back. I mean, how humiliating does it have to get? I mean, that was dreadful. It really was. He's struggling. Gone down.
Actually, we shouldn't laugh if he is. I think he's just embarrassed about the shot. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Fourth official has a real look of Pierluigi Collina about him, I think. Can't see the eyes close up, but he's definitely got the shiny bald head and he's all in black. What are you laughing at now?
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
I mean, listen to the support in the stadium, but both sets of fans must feel, their side should have shown more urgency.
Here they come. Morale, that's a foul. Got to be a foul. Halfway line. Basufa is brought down. He is going in the book. And that's Ansari Fat, who gets booked for... Oh, it's kicking off. Ashraf didn't like something there. With Iran's right back, Rezaian. The referee steps in very quickly to intercept that. Frustration boiling over. Oh, and it's also getting very heated down on the touchline between the two managers, Carlos Queiroz and Hervé Renard, and now they shake hands. But for a second there, tempers boiled over. I'm not surprised either, because just huge frustration about the second half. They were eyeball to eyeball.
It's good to see some action in the second half, and it's in the technical area.
Yeah. 4.5 minutes of added time remaining.
Mentioned Razan, fiery character. He had his contract terminated in Iran for an altercation with the teammate.
Did he? Ziyech plays the ball forward with his left foot, easily headed away by Azmoun. And the ball will go out for a Moroccan throw. Moroccan fans, Iranian fans, just imploring their teams to try and do a bit more here.
But we saw more passion then in the dugouts than we have on the pitch.
In the second half, definitely. Definitely. First half was a bit better. Da Costa's ball forward towards the edge of the box, bounces in the Iranian penalty. There's a foul on the edge of the box. How many fouls in this second half as well? Morocco 0, Iran 0. And... highlights reel won't last long on this one. The vuvuzelas, Julia is pointing out, and they're the first ones I've physically seen, and there are tons of them. And they're actually decked out in the colours of the Iranian team. 4 chaps right at the front of the stand, not even watching the game. You can't blame them for that, considering the second half. And they're encouraging everyone else to get involved. We've had 3 minutes of 6 of added time. Morocco 0, Iran 0.
The second half hasn't been a hoot, has it?
Amiri down the left-hand side. I'm glad you still got your spirits up. Oh, hang on. Free kick Iran. And now this is in a dangerous attacking position. Saman Godus was brought down. Could be the late winner we're all praying for.
Well, do you know what? I can't think of a good set piece that Iran have taken this afternoon. How crucial could this be? This is the opportunity. Is this the time?
94th minute of the game. Iran at the last World Cup, I watched them beaten by a 91st minute Lionel Messi goal. Wonder if this might be a little bit of payback. 94th minute in St. Petersburg. It has been a woeful second half. I can say that. Morocco 0, Iran 0. Free kick on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white Iranian shirts in the Moroccan penalty area. The referee is just trying to sort out the pushing and the shoving. Moroccan fans nervous here. Neither team has really done enough to win it, but who knows. 95th minute of the game we tick into. Free kick comes in with pace! It's an own goal! It's an own goal! I think that's Bouadouz, who's accidentally headed into his own net. He stays flat on the floor for Morocco. It's a 95th minute winner for Iran. And actually the Iranian coaching staff and substitutes cannot control themselves. They are on the pitch celebrating with their teammates. They barely deserved it, but that is what Iran do. They defend their goal with their lives. They nick plenty of 1-0 wins. They've only ever won one World Cup game in their history. This could be a second, a scruffy own goal. Morocco 0, Iran 1.
I said it was all about the delivery, and it's a wonderful ball whipped in left-footed. It's dreadful defending, isn't it? Bouadouz, near post space area, just heads it haplessly into his own goal.
Now
The delivery, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, best delivery, the only good delivery. Oh, Carlos Queiroz, we're seeing the close-up of him as well. Well, we said it, didn't we? If either team could win this game, it would give them a sniff of getting out of this group. It is Iran who are going to do that. Morocco just aren't going to have time. Last minute of the game, Ziyech brings the ball forward. Morocco so good in the first 20 minutes. Fell away badly in the second half.
And we can say what we like here about the quality of Iran. Have they put enough into it? The end justifies the means, doesn't it?
It does, it does. Morocco 0, Iran 1. Ball floated forward into the Iran penalty area. They've only got to defend that goal for one more minute. They are the clean sheet experts. They've nicked a goal in the 95th minute. Ashraf's ball in, curling, bouncing into the goalkeeper's arms, and he falls on it gratefully, and he doesn't want to get up and pick it up. They've won! The full-time whistle blows, and Carlos Queiroz, the manager, sinks to his knees, and the Iranian players are reacting as if they've won the World Cup. It's only the second ever win in World Cup history for them, and they just can't control the emotions. The goalkeeper is flat on his back. It looks like he might be in tears. He's kept another clean sheet. It was a woeful second half, Chris Sutton. Bouadou's own goal in the 95th minute gives Iran the win.
You know what? Who cares? It was a woeful second half. Look at these celebrations. It will be our World Cup final, this game. Carlos Queiroz said before the game, they're celebrating like they've won the World Cup. And do you know what? They defended deep. They were dogged, determined. Missed a big chance just before half-time. Did they deserve the win? Probably not. Who cares? But incredible scenes here.
Poor old Aziz Bouadou's for Morocco. They're desolate, they're desperate. He's headed into his own net in added time, which has given Iran a crucial win at the start of Group B. Forget the second half. No one's bothered about that in Iran. The celebrations are going wild in St. Petersburg. They've won. Morocco 0, Iran 1.